So let me introduce our panel. So to my right here is Leo Roberts. He is an executive producer of the 2017 award-winning short film, Radiohead, and produced a feature documentary called The Augmentation of Douglas Engelbart, and that was done last summer, and it's going to be on streaming services this summer. And Engelbart created the computer mouse. And he also directed a fan film for Star Trek called Star Trek Phoenix. The wrong franchise. Hey, we have to like Star Trek. Stop.
That's where
Next to Leo is Amanda Cherry. She's a staff writer for the Star Wars fan site Tosh Station.
Toshi Station.
Toshi.
When you get power converter.
See, she knows this. I apologize. And her first novel came
Sorry, I'll
out.
have 2 nerd points deducted for that.
Okay, I gotta keep track. And her first novel, Rights and Desires, came out last year. So you got a copy of it right in front of her. Next to her is Keith DeCandido, and I was thinking, what hasn't he done? He's written comic books, novels, short fiction, and several media properties, including Buffy, Supernatural, Alien, Star Trek, Leverage, X-Men. He's done it all. And
Except actually Star Wars.
but he's been trying. He's been trying. So, but he also writes a column for Tor.
Yes.
Yeah. And next to Keith is Gibbit Rhys-Jones. Rhys. By the way, I'm done. She's an editor for several publishing companies, as well as a freelance, and she's done sci-fi and fantasy writing as well. She has a lifetime love of Star Wars. In fact, when she got married 23 years ago, she marched down the aisle to the Emperor's March.
I did the same.
Yeah.
And I'm Jeff Ayers, and I'm a writer and book critic for the Associated Press, and I have a novel coming out from Tor Forge next year. So here we go with the first question I'm going to throw out to everybody here. I'm curious about the backlash that we've been getting with both The Last Jedi and with Solo. Can you talk a bit about that?
Well, the first thing I want to say in response to that is what I egotistically refer to as DeCandido's first rule, which is don't mistake a few fans bitching on the internet for any kind of trend.
Woo!
That's your first rule. But second rule, of course, is never get involved in a land war in Asia. But I stole that one. I think a lot of the backlash is frankly irrelevant as far as Last Jedi goes, because it was, I think, pretty unqualified success in the ways that matter, at least to the Walt Disney Company. I think at least besides the obvious backlash to people who are grumpy about the fact that they got girl cooties on their Star Wars, there were some legitimate issues with The Last Jedi in terms of the pacing, and there was a lot of stuff happening and it didn't all entirely fit together, but there was a lot of great stuff in it as well. I think with Solo in particular, the issues with that one were related to the fact that in every other movie that Han Solo has appeared in, he was the most interesting character. This was not true of Solo. Solo kept hinting at other more interesting movies that I think would have been really much more fun to watch than Solo was.
And his next movie.
I'm sorry.
We need an end to his next movie.
Yes. We also need a young Lando movie, especially with his mom. Yes. And that's a funny, like I said, Han Solo is like one of the most fascinating characters in Star Wars. Everybody loves Han Solo, and in this movie, he was kind of, So that's fine.
I do feel like it's more a bunch of very loud people than an actual bunch of people that are causing the problems in fandom. And I think the biggest issue, quite honestly, is that suddenly we are having the new canon, which already pissed some people off when they flushed all the old stuff down the memory hole, coming at us really fast. We've got new content coming out all the time. And it's books, and it's comics, and it's movies, and it's books, and it's comics, and it's movies. And we're getting this constant barrage. And every single new thing has the potential to violate someone's 20-year-old headcanon or someone's 40-year-old headcanon. And you don't know how tightly you are holding to your headcanon until somebody does something contrary to it. And then you stand up in a movie theater and like, yell at Han Solo. Like, and I did that. And it was in Berlin, and the Germans were not impressed. But I really do think that a lot of it is that this not my Star Wars thing is because for so long, so much of people's personal Star Wars lived 85% in their head and 15% on the screen. And suddenly you've now got so much on the screen that you have to rethink every fan theory you had, every explanation you may not have even realized you made up for yourself as to what was going on next. So I really do think the backlash is just that we are overwhelmed with amazing content, and it's more than small minds can handle.
Meanwhile, comic book fans and Sherlock Holmes fans are all like laughing.
So I have a theory. I'm going to throw this out there, everyone.
It must be bunnies? Sorry, Dark Franchise.
Yes, exactly. So Kylo Ren, that Rey was parents' robot. So, you know, which when I was watching it ticked me off a little bit. So I had a theory. What if Rey is Obi-Wan's granddaughter?
I mean, that's a popular theory. And it would not be out of character for Kylo Ren to be a lying liar telling a lie. But, I don't know. I don't know that he was lying in that moment. Because his next line of dialogue is "You're nothing but not to me," like classic user talk. And I feel like that would be, I don't think he's smart enough to have made that up. I think he would have just been exploiting the fact. But if she winds up being a Kenobi, I would be mad.
Also, just based on the portrayal of the younger Obi-Wan, both by Ewan McGregor and in the various Clone Wars cartoons and stuff, I'm perfectly willing to believe that he has children he doesn't know about.
Duh.
It's Ewan McGregor for crying out loud.
I guess part of my thought about this is why do we need to have her be someone? Why can't
Thank
she
you.
just be who she is?
Yeah.
I mean, she's force sensitive. We know what she's about. We know that she has raw talent that's yet to be harnessed. But that's kind of the opposite of Kylo Ren anyways. He's basically the opposite of that process of becoming whatever they are going to become. We don't really know yet.
He's like forced royalty.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is we have the first family of Star Wars that's coming to an end, and we need certain things resolved. But I watched The Last Jedi this morning again, and just trying to ask myself, do I really need her to be a Skywalker? Do I need her to be a Solo? Or, as your theory, is she the granddaughter of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Maybe one of them, but I don't need her to be any of them. I think I just want to see someone who's new, strong, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. So.
The franchise reinforced that with Broomwood, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like somebody at the
Yes.
end of The Last Jedi, they're like, not only is Rey nobody and awakening in the Force out on Jakku in literal hell, but now there's a stable boy on Cantonica who's having that same sort of awakening. The Force can inhabit anyone in any place because it is everything and everywhere, and it guides us and surrounds us.
Well, the Force demands a balance, and it had only one side really in existence for 30 years, supposedly, and now it's bringing the opposite balance into play. It makes sense that there would be young children who are coming to know the Force, and that this is the next generation. Maybe that's the future of the franchise, who knows? Maybe it's a different direction, but that's a very good point. It's just starting to come about, and you know, these kids and these characters, we don't need them to tie to anything else. They're part of the Force. That's enough for me as a fan. So.
Somewhere there's a little boy doing casting calls, and he's telling them, "I played Groom Boy in Last Jedi." What do you want to see in Episode 9?
Well, the one thing I know I won't see, which is Carrie Fisher.
I was just about to say, actually, from what I hear, the way that they've been able to cut existing footage and some digital things and use her body double, that's been her body double forever. I think we're going to see more of Leia in Episode 9 than we might have originally bargained for, and I'm a single issue voter, and that's the point. So as long as we get a good and satisfying resolution to if there's a way they could do that narratively, I would like that because I could just imagine Carrie Fisher where she would be like, that's right, I'm immortal! But as long as there's a satisfying end to that arc, I will probably be happy.
It should be interesting to see how they do it, though. There's so much film that ends up on the cutting room floor when you're shooting it that, I mean, some of it can make sense because they're just alternate takes of what you've already seen, and there's a lot of stuff they just don't. So, depending on how they really piece it together, they could do an awesome job or not. So,
I still haven't figured out how I feel about creepy CGI Peter Cushing in Rogue One.
it was good, I thought.
Huh?
It was good.
Okay, I just watched it and was like, no, he's that. Which is pure, that's just,
I'm a Peter Cushing fan.
so am I.
But that makes so.
Yeah.
Why does that bother you?
It was a visceral reaction. It didn't bother me enough to throw me out of the movie or anything, and I like the fact that Tarkin was in the movie.
Right.
It was just a kind of case of the oogies.
Because
I'll probably get over it.
When R2 was giving Leia the plans, young Leia the plans in Rogue One.
Carrie said that was somewhat the best part. She also said she looked like she had too much Botox, but
Yeah.
that was actually the last conversation.
That one made me tear up, and also because Carrie Fisher died somewhat more recently than Peter Cushing had. I had already mourned Peter Cushing. I hadn't mourned Carrie Fisher yet, but I don't know. And the thing is, it's a perfectly valid storytelling choice, and it's, when you've got the technology to do it, why not?
I would also like to see Rey cut Kylo Ren into little bloody ribbons.
Oh, yeah.
But what if
Apparently,
they,
I gotta go. Yay.
but what if they decide to pull something and bring him to the light side?
Okay,
He already
first of
has
all,
it. He already has it within him. We know this. He's already weakened so many times in the stories. He's done it a number of times in The Last Jedi where he has that second thought. He didn't shoot on his mother's ship. Someone else had to do it. So
Although he was eager to shoot the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, he
There were some
is.
serious daddy issues there, man.
that's a different story.
If they redeem Kylo Ren and it is done in a way that makes me buy it, which
Sure.
is going to be hard for them to get to, I'm sure there are narrative ways that I want him crying on the floor begging for his mommy. Blinders are not letting me see. I am sure there are plenty of satisfying ways they could redeem him, and I would be fine with that, even though it's not what I want. There are lots of things they could do that I would not be fine with.
okay, I just have to, I don't think he's going to be redeemed necessarily. He's not going to the light side. I think he's going to end up in the gray side. Because if you look at a lot of the cartoons, they're actually introducing the gray side. They're introducing the Bender. And so I think that actually, this is just a theory, guys. I have no affiliation with Disney or George Lucas or anything. I think that he and Ren, first of all, she's my brother and sister, and second of all, are going to, yeah, right, old trope, and second of all, are going to be gray Jedis. I don't think there is going to be any more Jedi and Darth, Sith, whatever.
Well, I mean, we have the Ahsoka Tano model, right? Like, I am no Jedi. So we have that model in a heroic character of someone who is a light side figure, who isn't following that Jedi path, who isn't part of that, for want of a better word, cult.
Yeah, and also that's an interpretation of bringing balance to the Force that I think is a more valid one than even numbers of Jedi and Sith. And also, frankly, one of my absolute favorite moment in The Last Jedi was when Luke Skywalker pointed out something that I've been thinking since 2005 or so, which is that the Jedi Knights were spectacularly incompetent. The prequel trilogy is a chronicle of the Jedi Knights' failure. Because not only does Palpatine's entire plan succeed, it's never in any danger of not succeeding. 99% of the Jedi Knights who were killed by Order 66 died not knowing why the hell they were being killed. They missed all of it. And that bugged me in watching the prequel trilogy. It's like, really? This is how you're portraying your noble knights? But then The Last Jedi comes in and Luke Skywalker basically says, yeah, that's what happened. And I was like,
In the book Queen's Shadow, which I'm not going to spoil because it came out a week ago, and not I'm crazy. Y'all know that about me. There is a line though, and this spoils nothing, that Palpatine says very casually about how he never has to run for office again. Like how I'm never going to run for office again. And everybody in the room is like, oh, he's been in this for a while, he's going to retire. And everybody reading the book is like, dude. Oh, they could have seen that coming if they had just listened. And that feels very much like what you're talking about. Like, the Jedi, they're like really super powerful. And yes, always emotion is the future, but they could have maybe seen those wheels a spinning if they had thought to look.
Plus, even in the first trilogy, or in the second trilogy, depending on what order you're counting them, the rebellion got started and got moving without any. The only two Jedi Knights who were left were sitting alone on a planet somewhere, contemplating their maybes, and were functionally irrelevant to the rebellion. And even in the end, most of the work done to topple the Empire in the end was not done by the one Jedi Knight left. Luke was mostly just standing around being tempted by the Emperor, who, if he just kept his mouth shut, probably would have succeeded. He kept being tempted by the dark side, and the Emperor goes, "Yes, come to the dark side." And Luke's like, "Oh yeah, right." No. He just shut up. But for all that they're portrayed as the noble knights defending the Old Republic, they were basically useless.
It was a very outdated business model.
Yeah. And it's the regular folks who are actually the ones who do most of the heroic stuff. Or in Leia's case, yes, technically Leia is a Force user, but she almost never uses it on screen. She used it maybe once when she rescues herself.
Oh, I needed that all year.
Yeah.
I needed that.
But her accomplishments are despite her being Jedi, not really because of it.
You know, I think there are a lot of expectations people have, and I have many growing up with this franchise, but I think that we also need to look at J.J. Abrams. We need to look how he's resolved stories in the past. Lost, maybe one example.
I was just going to be like, oh, so we're going to have lens flare.
I think that we want a proper send-off because this is the final movie, and I think that he has a great responsibility to do that. He did have a great responsibility with the first one, The Force Awakens. I don't know. I try not to have a lot of expectation. I just don't want to be disappointed. So I'm going to be open and hope that he, as a fan himself, resolves a lot of the things that he has heard about over the years from fans, and then also just recently with Solo, Last Jedi, and so forth. So I would love just to see proper endings to a few things, but we'll see.
I do have hopes. I pin all of my hopes. Okay, not all, but most. And I have an idea of how this is going to end. It's the Skywalker saga. It's got to end with someone being a Skywalker, and they've already killed off maybe cool. And the third one died in real life.
I mean, they are running out of Skywalkers. This is
That's
this is
true.
very
But the thing is, this is the end of the Skywalker saga. Does it need to continue?
Yes.
Why?
Because there are hopes.
This is the Star Wars universe now. It is bigger than any of them combined. This can be an entire new future. We can also venture to the past.
Okay,
And I do think if they wipe out all of the space Kardashians, Star Wars saga is one family fouling up hugely with galactic implications. I do think if they wipe out the last of the Skywalker line, that will open up the universe more for different and additional storytelling.
I guess the question is, I we can ask it later too, is do we need it to have a Skywalker continuing the line?
No.
That's
Because they are talking about doing a 10, 11, and a 12.
Oh,
What?
But it
What
should,
does
it should
Disney
be your
do?
boy. It should be
Yes.
the iconic Stable Boy uprising.
So when
I have lots of comic book ideas. Marvel should call me.
When 7 first came out, I got into a huge fight with a friend of mine because he was saying, "Oh, I hope they don't carry on the Skywalker. I hope she's not a Skywalker." It's like, why not? She can be a Skywalker because it's the Skywalker saga. Now, I actually do kind of hope she's a Solo because that's not technically a Skywalker. And then you have your Solo line.
Well, I mean, Han and Leia both adopted her independently and also together at some point.
Yeah.
So,
I like the idea of expanding it on beyond that myself. One of the things I loved about Rogue One, I have spent most of my writing career writing tie-in fiction. Well, I haven't written Star Wars tie-ins. I've written a lot, about 35 different licensed universes. And Rogue One was amazing to me because Rogue One is the kind of story that tie-in novels usually tell. That's not the sort of thing you see as part of the main on-screen story. And it was great. I loved it. I loved getting that, I mean, I've done that. I've done, taking one line out of a TV show and building an entire novel out of it. They took one line out of Star Wars and built an entire freaking movie. Basically one line. Yeah, and giving us some wonderful characters, really adding what Rogue One did really well, and what I'd love to see more of is adding depth and texture and consequences, wider consequences to the Star Wars universe. Rogue One in particular made you realize that the rebellion was actually about people whose lives are affected by the Empire.
well, did you read from a certain point of view? Oh, read it. For any of you that haven't read from a certain point of view, you can probably get the dollar table downstairs. It's minor characters in A New Hope giving you a piece of the movie from their perspective. So like you've got the rebels that are left behind on Yavin 4, and you've got the Dianoga has a story, and there's a mouse droid with a story, but the red droid, the red R2 unit that blows up at the beginning has a story that makes you cry. And though I want to see more like that,
Yes.
like take this thing that was happening over there and give it to me. I mean, one of my favorite moments in Rogue One was General Syndulla report to the briefing room. I'm like, you have just tied in the entirety of Rebels right there, in one line. Give it to me.
Well, plus the Ghost was in Rogue One as well. It was very brief, but it was there.
For that matter, one of the things I like about Rey is somebody who has had a miserable life, and is, the Force is giving her a way to improve herself in a lot of different ways. But her existence, as when we first meet her, is brutal, hard-scrabble, difficult, and watching that journey, it gives the whole universe more texture.
That's why I don't necessarily need her to be a Skywalker.
Yeah.
I don't need her to be a Solo. Her struggle is hers and hers alone.
The struggle is real.
So I'd rather see her come out on her own character and be what she could be rather than having to identify with one of the other families.
Well, and so much about Star Wars is not just about the blood family, but so much of it is about found family.
Yeah.
I mean, from Leia being actually officially adopted by parents who loved and raised her, to Han and Chewie having found each other in a mud pit and becoming family that way. And you've got Finn, who was taken from his parents as a baby, and Rey, who was abandoned by her parents as a small child, and they find each other. And even though their experiences beyond that are so different, they're able to come together and see, oh, there you are. There is a person who meets this emotional need for me. So I don't think anybody else needs to be blood related for it to still be about family and have that kernel of relationship and interpersonal connection. I don't think that blood is the most important thing about that. Neither are Mandalorians.
I think one of the things that Solo did very well was establishing the relationship between Han and Chewie, which is one of my favorite things in the whole Star Wars saga. I think that one of the most emotionally grinding moments in the entire saga was at the beginning of Empire, when Leia had to order the doors shut because it was getting too cold out, and Chewie just rears his head back and screams because Han's still out there. And such an amazing job that Peter Mayhew did there. Because this is a guy who's in a big gorilla suit basically, and he's not allowed to use words, or words that we know anyway. And he just utterly sold me on that friendship in that one scream to the ceiling. And Solo did a really nice job of establishing the foundation of that friendship and how it developed and how it deepened. And my favorite, and what I loved in The Force Awakens was it had very obviously turned into an old married couple by the time of The Force Awakens. And it was obvious that Chewbacca was not taking a single micron of Han's shit at that point. And it was awesome. Yeah.
That's why they got divorced.
Yeah.
Technically in canon, they never got divorced, by the way.
But they were separate.
They were separated for only for 2 or 3 years before The Force Awakens, it turns out. In case anyone else cares as much as I do about that. No one
Pretty
cares
sure
as
no one
much
does.
as I do about
No,
that.
actually,
No, I know those people on the internet. And
Well, I'm just hopeful that J.J. Abrams does not remake Phantom Menace. That's my fear. I hope he doesn't do that. So Disney is going to be coming out with a streaming service later this year. They're calling it Disney Plus or Disney.
because that worked so well for Google.
Yeah, exactly. So they're doing in addition to Marvel original series, they're doing Star Wars original series. They're going to be doing a show called The Mandalorian, which Jon Favreau is doing, which should be exciting. In fact, my understanding is they've finished filming the first season of it. And they're also doing a show based on Cassian Andor, which should be more of a spy. And the rumors about other shows as well.
let Diego touch Java 2K19.
So I'm going to mention Star Trek here for a second, just because people complain that the new Star Trek series is on a streaming service. Is the fact that these new Star Wars series being on the streaming service only, is that going to be detrimental? Or do we care and we just want to see it?
Disney bought Star Wars because it's a license to print money, and people are gonna pony up. There may be that whole like sharing your Netflix code with your friend kind of thing, having watch parties at somebody's house. But I think Disney, because of the properties they already own, is going to be a lot. I don't think they're gonna have any problem getting subscribers to that service. I think families with children are gonna subscribe so they get the entire catalog of Disney movies forever. And then Star Wars is going to be the bonus thing that the grown-ups watch after the kids go to bed.
It's a smart business model given the direction that TV is going right now. You know, the complaint that, well, Star Trek, why are they only letting Star Trek be available on the streaming service? Because they want to build a streaming service. It's also, you know, Disney is using both. I mean, Marvel and Star Wars are two of the most popular things on the planet right now, and the reason why they're putting new content there is so people will buy the streaming service. And that's why CBS is developing a whole lot of Star Trek things so they can put them on and build up that streaming service. That's the direct. We're moving toward. In the earliest days of cable, a lot of it was a la carte. You could like pick which channels you wanted, and then eventually it just became one big bundle, and you just paid one ridiculously large cable bill for everything. And now the streaming services are dragging us back to that, and eventually we're going to get to the point where you get one big thing that gives you all the streaming services in one shot because these things go in circles. But Netflix in particular, and to a lesser extent Hulu and Amazon Prime have proven that there's money in our streaming services, and that they want to keep all the money for themselves, and it's that's how capitalism works. And
Disney is very good at capitalism.
yeah, and the complaints are going to be less relevant than whether or not it drives people to subscribe to the service, which I'm sure it's going to because it's freaking Star Wars and Marvel.
And it should be good stuff too. So
well, let's not go overboard.
Yeah.
But
As long as Disney doesn't Disneyfy it, well, no, they haven't yet, but if they start with something new, then they go for a younger audience, which means they might put bubble heads on everything, and I just hope they don't. I really hope they don't.
Resistance is aimed at a younger audience. My 5-year-old watches it with me. It's about racing, so it's basically his favorite thing. And they've actually done I've never been a big fan of animation as a medium, but I'm on a podcast about Star Wars Resistance, so I watch it every week, and now I look forward to it. The first few episodes, I was like, I gotta watch a cartoon, y'all. But it's great, and they've done an excellent job of creating for that young audience while still making it engaging and interesting and well done artistically and something that an adult can enjoy. So I just hope that they keep with the kinds of creative teams that they're working with now that take that much care. And as long as we don't get so much new content that they are running out of people who care, I think we're gonna be okay.
We had a panelist that was supposed to be here tonight, or today, named Brian Sipe. All three of us have worked with him and known him for over a decade. And he's the lead makeup artist for The Mandalorians. And they have wrapped the season. Of course, every time I've asked him for any tidbits or anything, the answer is no.
Didn't he at one point give like a super super engaging detail of there's a Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
literally said something like, yeah, there's a Mandalorian.
But I mean, this is the guy that's worked on all the Marvel movies, including the latest Captain Marvel. He did the Skrulls work. He's worked on the Endgame. He's worked on a lot of big name movies, and this is his first time. That's kind of in the lead, and so I was pressing him as best as I could.
Those NDAs are brutal.
Yeah, they have them locked down really well. But he said two things. He said, first of all, it's going to be amazing. And the way when he uses that word, that means it's for real. Because he said the exact same thing with Infinity War. He said the exact same thing with Endgame, so we'll see. And the other tidbit which threw me off was he said that this new series is a game changer. I don't know exactly what that means because he will not elaborate. So it's either possibly it's just an awesome first time live Star Wars series, or it could also be the direction the franchise is going to go into. So it's just interesting that he used that because he's never elaborated on anything.
Well,
it's just,
to be fair, the bar for live action Star Wars television is basically the holiday special. So there's really nowhere to go but up.
You lost your life! Oh, come on.
We were not going to get out of this hour without mentioning the holiday special. I'm just telling you
well, I mean,
that.
compared to today, yes, but back then.
It was great 70s variety.
It was exactly like every other piece of 70s variety
Not
television was a
forever!
It was a game changer, actually.
It wasn't good.
So many ways.
Yes.
I want to open it up to you guys, so if you want to line up to the mic. and ask
Please, two, and
I'm
then
going to ask
orderly
one
fashion.
question of them real quick. So go ahead and line up there. Disneyland, on May 31st and on August 29th in Disney World, Galaxy's Edge is opening. So it's Star Wars night. It's going to be pretty awesome. The Millennium Falcon ride will be operational at that time, and they're saying that the Ride of Resistance, the other ride, is going to be opening later. The folks I talked to at Disney told me that because the new park is going to be so popular, that at Disneyland, they're expecting that the entire park will be closed to new people coming in, so it'll be like maximum attendance, which happens maybe 4 or 5 times a year. This will happen the majority of the year around 9 a.m. That's a lot. Wanted to ask about that. Are you guys excited? Are we going to all go to California together?
I haven't set foot in a Disney theme park since 1983. So.
I just got back from one like a week ago.
Yeah,
I
you have a
love-
5-year-old.
I do. But when I go to Galaxy's Edge, I'm leaving him with his grandmother. So
I was just at Disney World myself. and it
it's
was
going to be
amazing.
a whole new kind of storytelling. There's an app that is going to let you go on secret missions throughout Galaxy's Edge. So even if you're waiting for the fast pass or you're like munching on tauntaun wings or whatever, I have a friend who did the media preview and she said everything was amazing. And I really look forward to seeing what they're doing with the storytelling aspects of that. And yeah, I do. I just want to walk in and breathe the air. But I'm actually planning, I want to have a really good time on a Disney vacation. I don't do Disney Light, and I don't do Disney on a budget, which is a problem. So I think I'm going to wait until they open the immersive hotel and work all the kinks out of that. And then I will try to get a reservation for whenever I can. So I would say about 2032, I will be but I really look forward. I know people that are going down opening day who bought their plane ticket the moment it was announced. And I don't want to do it until I can do it. And I just don't think going on opening day is going to do it for me. So
The
everybody,
rumors-
But you'll be there with 8 million of your closest friends.
The hotel rooms are supposed to be over $1,000 a night.
it costs $700 a night to stay at the Contemporary, so I am down with the upcharge.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good.
I just want to sit in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon.
Meanwhile, I'm not sure they're ever going to get me into the cockpit because the queue is actually you wander around the lounge until they call your group. And I'm like, they can't make me. They can't make me leave. I live there.
I just would love to sit in the cockpit. I think it would be great. And then I could come home and tell my husband, I sat in the cockpit.
I mean, I'm probably going to want to
Yes, I will.
We don't make documentaries now. We actually make
So yes, thanks. Hi.
Hi, thank you all for coming. The reference to Dylan Syndulla, it's Syndulla in Rogue One, is evidence that it seems like they're willing to introduce characters from Rebels and Clone Wars into movies and hopefully the television show as well. If you could pick one hero character or villain character from either of those two series, which aren't canon, to have visualized on the big screen, who would it be and who would you cast? And I'll go first. I would say Cad Bane, and he'd be played by Steve Buscemi.
By the way, if you're not watching the series on TDS that Steve Buscemi is doing, which I'm blanking on the title of now.
Plays God,
Where he
right?
plays God.
Yeah.
What the hell is the title of the show? Miracle Workers. Thank you, Miracle Workers. If you're not watching Miracle Workers,
Watch Miracle Workers.
it's phenomenal.
I want a Bail Organa series starring Jimmy Smits. I want the West Wing on Alderaan.
I love that.
Yeah, that's my answer.
The West Wing Alderaan.
Yes.
I want a Ahsoka
I'm the guy who
series.
wrote the West Wing of Star Trek. So.
I want a Ahsoka series.
Yes.
I just have no idea who can cast that. That's a really tough one.
Yeah, that would be hard.
I think that would. What did you say?
What? Oh.
That wouldn't suck.
No.
I would not be opposed to that one.
I would buy streaming services for that.
Yeah, I think it's probably one of the most popular characters. I think all of us would like to see. I mean,
Yeah.
she'd be amazing, actually.
You should just do a Jedi Academy series.
Yeah, a Jedi Academy series.
And have it all of the students.
That would make a
die or
great
Disney
series
burn
finale.
Kill all the
Anakin comes in, it's over. Class is over.
Yeah, but we knew how.
Hey, come on, that was my issue. That was my issue with the prequel trilogy. Just the existence of the prequel trilogy. We know it ends with the good guys losing and the bad guys winning. We knew that before we started.
And yet,
And they released them anyway. And we all went to see it. So, yeah. Anyway, Barry Allen has a question.
Yes, what probably.
Unless you're Wally West, it's hard to expect.
So there was a rumor going around during the filming of episode 9 that you might see Ghost Anakin? Maybe? What are your thoughts on that?
Why?
I've also heard that we would see a Ghost Palpatine.
Again, why?
anything
Can't they
is
just stay
possible.
dead?
But the fact is, it depends. I don't know where you heard this rumor. I also heard this rumor, and I heard this rumor from someone who gets made fun of for their bad Star Wars rumors. So stuff like that, if it serves the story to have Ghost Anakin show up, especially to smack down his wayward grandson, like I don't have a problem with that. But I don't want to speculate on like what other characters might they be bringing back and make him a Force ghost, and I don't need it. I don't need it. I mean, but making this coming celebration, so take a look and then photo op and ask.
If it's Yoda, I'm cool.
He won't tell them.
Yoda's already been done.
I think
You're not gonna add Yoda.
again, to echo what you just said, if it serves the story, sure, because we're adding on to it. But just to have it for no reason, I don't think so.
Unless he shows up along with like Ghost Yoda and Ghost Obi-Wan all showing up welcoming, hi, Kylo, welcome to the afterlife. But
Now see, I wouldn't mind Ghost Anakin and Force Ghost Han Solo standing next to him being like, son, you even grounded in the afterlife.
thank you.
Ghost Harrison Ford, I can't believe that. Anyway, yeah, go ahead. Hi.
My question is about Kylo Ren in episode 9. Do you guys think that he will be redeemed? And if so, what would that redemption look like?
Oh, yes and no. I'm the one who believes in the Grey Jedi. I do not believe he will be redeemed. I believe that he will be doing good as well as, throwing his temper tantrums. Because that's Kylo, who's emo. Come on, you have to agree with me. He is emo. And as a longtime goth, I know emo. But I don't think he'll be necessarily redeemed because he'll always be screwing up that redemption by doing something wrong, like, killing his fellow students or taking a lightsaber and pushing it through some father figure or, little like saving Rey, or saving Bruloy, or, you know, other things. So I don't think he'll be redeemed. I think, though, that he'll find his balance.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and I honestly think we've been hearing about, you know, maintaining balance in the Force for 42 years now, and I think that's a more interesting way to find balance in the Force than, you know, Jedi on one part of the scale and Sith on the other side of the scale and shaking their fists at each other.
Well, Rey and Kylo are much stronger than any other Jedi we've seen. Now, I say we've seen because there have been more powerful ones in the past, but they're more powerful than the ones we've seen. And so I think that that whole Force, you know, Jedis and Sith or Darth or whatever, I think that's coming to an end. But
My thing with Kylo is I don't think he can be redeemed. I think the sheer amount of genocide he was responsible for is irredeemable. I feel like there is not adequate justice for destroying an entire system of planets. There is not adequate justice for murdering children in their beds. There's just not. I cannot fathom, as a storyteller, anyone being able to come up with a satisfying, true redemption arc. Now, what Gibbit is saying is valid, and I could see him coming out of that darkness to an extent, but I just, and maybe there are better storytellers than me that have come up with it, but I cannot fathom a way to truly redeem someone who has not only committed that much evil, but turned around and doubled down on it.
This is
Zuko, the legend.
Anakin killed fewer people, and the Death Star only blew up one planet.
Great.
Right?
no, one wasn't one.
This is assuming, of course, this is all based on one assumption, and that is there's finality for these characters in
Yes.
episode 9. It's very possible they will just simply end the Skywalker portion, and these characters that are newer to us will continue. So there may not be any redemption, it could just be a continuation.
There's also, there was a, how many of you are familiar with the Stargate SG-1 movie, Arc of Truth?
Yes.
There was a wonderful speech that Teal'c gave to one of the Ori acolytes who realized that the Ori were like killing lots of people and was trying to make up for it. Where Teal'c basically explains, Teal'c was a former Jafar who used to regularly kill people for the gold and now is trying to do good, saying that, you know, you will never be able to completely redeem yourself. The only thing you can do is to keep trying and to keep trying to find a way to do good. I think that would be a valid path for Kylo is
And
you know,
that's-
not actually redeeming himself, but sort of, you know,
And
sort of
that's-
mixing both of what they were both
Yeah,
saying.
it's been through everything. I mean, Xena.
Yeah.
I know most of you are too young to remember Xena, but she, I mean, her whole life was to make up for all the people she killed. And I feel that with Anakin, yeah, okay, he only killed a whole school of younglings and blew up 2 planets because not only Alderaan, but the test planet, where
Oh, the Scarab wasn't completely blown up. The first 2 test fires only blew up parts of the planet. But, and the fact is,
Also, that's okay.
Anakin was only redeemed in the eyes of Luke.
That's
Anakin
true.
was not redeemed in the eyes of the rest of the galaxy. And if you've read Claudia Gray's Bloodline, if you haven't, go read it. It's excellent. Leia definitely never forgives him. So he has really only been redeemed in the eyes of, yes, Luke is the hero character, and so we get that as the audience, that feeling that he's been redeemed, but really he wasn't. He did one selfless good thing at the moment of his death and got forgiven by one person whose forgiveness was very dear to him and whose forgiveness was very dear to us as the audience. But that doesn't...
The rest of the galaxy is like, yeah.
Yeah, Vader. Yeah.
Can I jump on his funeral? Can I jump on his grave, please?
Well, I can't get this image of Kylo Ren being Xena out of my head now. Thank you for that. Yes, hi, you have a question? Hello. And thank you for that question.
So I really like the various Star Wars theories, and one of the ones that I see get the most attention
is the idea that George Lucas's original plan for the original trilogy was to have Jar Jar be the secret evil that is like in the fan backlash calls him out.
Secretly?
Jar Jar did bring about the fall of the
There's other ones, but that's a theory I see a lot of the time doing about the hear gets lots of time. But one that I've heard about Rey's parents, and I'm okay with the Rey not her parents being nobodies, I think it's an interesting idea. But a theory that I've not seen much attention to is that she is not the granddaughter of Kenobi, but the granddaughter of Palpatine.
Yes. I thought you were going to say Jar Jar.
And then once again, we're going to have Skywalker versus Palpatine.
No, I have heard that one, and it makes so much sense. I've also heard that she's the reincarnation of Obi-Wan. Because when she picks up that lightsaber, whose voice comes into her head except, well, Ewan McGregor's, and I would rather Sir Alec Guinness. But she gets his voice in her head. Well, you know, why wouldn't she be the reincarnation, which would prevent her from being a Skywalker and prevent her from being a Solo and even an Obi-Wan? If she's the reincarnation, her parents could be nobodies.
I like the Palpatine idea a lot.
Yeah,
actually.
She has to be related to somebody. I really like Ray Random. Like I said, I kind of hope it is Ray Random because I like the theme of that the Force can come from anywhere and awaken in anybody, and you don't have to have special parents to be a special person. And you don't have to come from power to own your power and to do good with it in the world. But if I wouldn't mind the Palpatine relationship, it wouldn't bother me.
No. I think it'd be fascinating. I mean,
And I would go back to the whole balance thing, the idea that a heroic character comes out of this bloodline, the Sith bloodline.
which may be a Jedi or a great Jedi.
Yeah.
We don't know. So, yeah.
I like that too, because then who's grooming boys' parents? You know, you can get this whole loop going on.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And then we won't talk about Jar Jar ever again. I'm just like,
You know what though?
Hey, come on,
Jar
yeah,
Jar was really polarizing, but Ahmed Best is just a wonderful
Oh,
human
yeah,
being,
yes.
and he's gonna be
Nothing
a
against him.
producer, and
Yeah.
I hope everybody loves on him, and
Yeah.
he's phenomenal. He is the only reason that I love Jar Jar.
okay.
But I first have a statement. As far as J.J. Abrams not being able to finish anything, he was only part of Lost for the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Then he left. And so, like, everything that didn't get answered with all of that, that's all on Lindelof and everyone else. So, I think J.J. will be able to finish it, but the rumor that I've heard recently is that they've gotten George Lucas to help out. Have you heard that at all? I've been seeing that a lot, just on different, like, fan pages and stuff
No,
like that.
the notion fills me with a nameless dread.
You know, they don't really have to get George Lucas. He will show up and ride around in the golf cart and scare people all day long.
Yeah.
I really hope they don't
Okay.
after that field with the Pampa scene in the second movie, where they ran towards each other with their arms outspread, and probably one of them slipped in Bantapoop and fell into the other's arms. You know, I just, that scene really crushed my soul. So I really hope that George Lucas just shows up riding in a golf cart, scaring people, and that's it.
And that's the limit.
I'd be fine with George Lucas consulting on the technical aspects of it, because that's really the direction that he got better at, and is obviously more interested in the prequel trilogy.
And that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
What would he have to consult about?
I think there'd be much. Just in general, consulting on the story, if it's like, "You cool with this?" and he'd say no, and they say, "Well, too bad we own it now."
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, and the thing is, having said that, Industrial Light and Magic is still one of the go-to special effects houses in the world, and that's pretty much all him. So, not all him, but it comes from him. So, you know, it could very well be consultation on look. And one of the things that he was particularly good at, and which the prequel trilogy lost sight of just because he fell so in love with CG, and even then, not always, is the Star Wars universe looks like people live in it. There's this sort of really grungy, filthy, beat-up aesthetic which is one of the things that I've always really liked about it.
That's why I didn't like the prequels. I was like, it's too pretty.
It was, and part of that was the limitations of early 21st century CGI. But and even then, and they tried for it at least occasionally.
You mean they didn't really have shit shaped like shoes?
Hard to believe, that so it might just be hopefully that rumor is just that he's consulting on the visuals. We can all
I would love to see at some point what his vision of the last 3 movies were as opposed to what we've seen on the screen. Just
I feel like that's curiosity.
Yeah, I'm curious about that somewhere. But thanks for your question. Hi.
Hi, wow, this one is really tall.
It can probably be lower.
Yeah.
You know what? It's okay. I'll say that again.
Okay.
So I really love General Hux. He's my favorite character in the entire franchise, but only because of the fandom's like shared headcanons for what he's really like, and you know he's an uber soft baby.
So do you also love Millicent the cat?
Yes.
Yeah, Pablo Hidalgo, personal hero. But my question to you is, who is your favorite character who only gets a little bit of screen time, and what do you like about them, and do you have any like personal headcanons about them that maybe are not supported by the media?
Oh, I guess I do.
Thank you for answering my question.
Captain Kennedy. He is this like clearly career military guy. He clearly knows what he's doing, and every once in a while, the actor does this amazing job where you get sort of you can tell behind his eyes, he's like, how did Armitage Hux and Kylo Ren come to outrank me? Because what is happening? Where did my career go sideways? And he's only on screen for 2 minutes, maybe total for the whole movie. But I want a Captain Kennedy comic mini. Like I want so much of him being competent and being the understanding of why the First Order was able to rise to this kind of power and prominence, because it hasn't always been in the hands of whiny emo teenage boy and his cute gender boyfriend.
Yeah, no, I have to write some fan/fiction.
Yes, you do. Yes. Join the Kylex dumpster. We live here. We love it.
Mine is Lando's mom. Who we haven't actually seen on screen, but has been mentioned, and I want to see more of Lando's mom because I bet she's awesome.
Carrie Fisher's daughter has been in more prominently The Last Jedi, so I'm curious to see how her character is going to be featured, whether more prominently in this next movie. She's getting more and more role, more responsibility, it seems, as a character.
She
Definitely.
got promoted twice in The Last Jedi?
Exactly, and the fact that she has more lines. So it seems like they're building that character up for something, whether that means they're going to carry her into the future or something else. I'd like to see how they do that. That's one of the ones I'm really looking forward to see just how they develop it.
And then the other one is Emperor's Nest, which I already mentioned. Like, she only had a few minutes of screen time, but it was very impactful. And Erin Kelly is also just amazing.
This isn't a screen character, but I want to see more of Ted and Bink.
Yeah, okay.
Those of you who know what that is, yes, you will understand. If you don't know what it is, Google Ted and Bink. It's worth it. And Supergirl has a question.
Yes, hi.
I got two. First one is, what do you think was the saddest like death in the everything? And like, I don't even know the answer to this one, but like, do you think like I don't think Robert has really like redeeming himself, but do you think he was sort of like fighting himself, being like good or bad? Because he was like fighting a little bit on the good side from like the last movie.
When Han Solo met his end, again, I was in a movie theater in Berlin, and apparently I made a sound. Now, I've been a professional actor for like 25 years, but I could not make this sound on demand if you paid me lots of money to do it. And actually, at the end of, I think, the third time I had seen the movie, I turned to my husband and I was like, okay, honey, I'm missing something. When Kylo was dealing with Rey at the end of the movie, like, he's injured, right? Like, he's pounding on a wound to get himself. How does that happen? And I was like, Chewie shot him. And I said, when? And Andrew said, when you were sobbing into your handkerchief. And so, as much as for most of my life, the loss of Leia's adoptive parents has been the saddest thing, Han Solo, I'm still not over it. I will never get over it, and the novelization made it worse. So read it or don't, actually, careful. But yeah, I will. I've written many sad fanfics based on the death of Han Solo. Many.
I'm defining sadness differently. My pick is sadness death of Benagalas, because damn, couldn't they kill it better?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I would go broken heart. I mean, what is this, a 19th century Gothic romance song?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, bitch.
It was
No.
Anybody else have a sad
Sorry, I find the whole romance between Anakin and just stupid. You know, all Jedi's have this thing where you can't fall in love because it goes against the order, but there's nothing about there's nothing about you can't go sow your oats.
Right.
So
Somebody said.
So he could have just and left. He should have, because he's an evil whiny brat.
Yeah,
his grandson.
Yeah, these things run in families. Yeah.
But and we lose people to me calling Anakin a.
Well, also
That's the end of the family.
Oh, okay.
because they need to sit on lines for other panels.
Okay. So I thought it was because I was dissing Anakin.
It is.
Although
I don't think that'll cause that usually causes cheering.
the portmanteau ship name for Anakin and Padme is Anadala, and like, why was it not anime?
I think that word was taken.
Do people actually like anime?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
My saddest one was actually Han. I loved Han. And it used to be Obi-Wan. It was like, it happened so quickly, and the first time I watched it, I spent the rest of the movie in shock, because I didn't know him, but he reminded me of my grandfather. And I was so, I'm a grandfather's girl, so I was so attached to him. And then all of a sudden, Darth went and down. And I was in shock the rest of the movie. And now it's Han, because I loved Han. Han was wonderful. He reminds me of my uncle.
I think I have to be in agreement with Solo. I think the saddest part of it for me was his death, but also how he died. Because I think I've always seen him as being a character who wouldn't die that way, per se. I always visioned him being in battle, maybe in the Millennium Falcon, just something that's just different.
I don't know, being killed by his own kid seems just exactly the way he would go.
I think Leo here.
What?
And Leo knows I'm going to point this out.
Oh, here we go. This is a work debate. So, Gibbit and I work for a VR company, and we started this Star Wars debate. I try to stay out of it, but it's encompassed now our executives, so we just keep it going for the fun of it. So please, let's ask them. Be my guest. 30 seconds.
Oh, you can do this in 30 seconds,
Okay.
because I'll get my say and you won't get yours.
That's fine.
Han Solo sacrificed himself. He sacrificed himself so his son wouldn't kill him, because he didn't, because Han pressed the button, and he was trying to bring him back into the light by casting doubt in his head. And oh yeah, 30 seconds is up.
His finger was not on the lightsaber, it was down below. It's kind of red.
Yeah,
And he also shot first.